Danger signs are all over the Southside Gardens apartments. That means tenants will have to vacate the premises in about 30 days because the city of Greenville will demolish these apartments. What you're looking at right here is what a lot of tenants say they have to deal with every day. That's water leaking. That's when a fight breaks out at this park. Police say the suspect, Orlando Gibson, then runs to a car. He opens the door, reaches inside for a gun, and fires 1, 2, 3, 4 shots in the air in order to stop the fighting. What you're looking at right now is a hole where the tornado came through this home. It was a very frightening moment for Carol and her daughter. I'm here right across the street from City Hall where Southside Gardens apartment tenants say they have had enough. So with no money to fix the road, residents I spoke to say they're just going to have to deal with it, even if that means facing potholes that measure several inches wide. We're getting another look, another angle at the damage that was done here by a twister that ripped through Louisville. This is the medical center right now, and it appears the roof of the medical center is barely hanging on. You'll also meet a police officer and the mayor of Louisville. Their roles are pivotal in the recovery process that lies ahead for this town.
My wife and kids were in a storm shelter, and I joined them for a matter of minutes before it was over.
Mayor Will Hill is on the road when the tornado approaches. He takes cover with his family.
The EOC, the Incident Command Center became City Hall that night, and then from there it's just a whirlwind. It's already seeming like a blur.
And when the damage was done, he couldn't believe what he saw.
Came out as debris, and then I realized how horrific it was.
Assistant Police Chief Andy Taylor was one of the officers who saw firsthand just how bad it was.
We were actually taking shelter here at the police department. We saw the cloud coming through, and we started getting reports that the hospital had been hit. It was chaotic for a while.
But even the men and women who protect and serve us can become victims of tragedy.
One of our captains lost everything he's got, and we're trying to get him rigged back up, but we just keep going. That's all we can do. That's what we're here for, is to help the people.
Across town, that holds true for Arlene Johnson. She's an employee at the now devastated Winston Medical Center.
Our building was so wet, we've been wading through water, mud, insulation. It's just been tough.
She escaped the tornado just in time, leaving her office just a few life-saving moments before the tornado hit.
And we knew it was getting closer, and we said, it's time to get in under the mattress. But we stood in the carport literally watching for it till we saw the debris circling in the air, and we ran. We had a mattress in our back hallway, and we ran and got under it.
We're getting another look, another angle at the damage that was done here by a twister that ripped through Louisville. This is the medical center right now, and it appears the roof of the medical center is barely hanging on. It's shredded. It appears to be completely dismantled. So even though the tornado is gone, the danger is not. Cleanup crews are busy at work, and so are the people of Louisville. Those who survived will pick up the pieces and move forward.
Renae Skinner speaks to the women who claim the abuse will continue if nothing is done.
Steve, the women I spoke to say they trusted the Cleveland Nursing and Rehabilitation Center with their loved ones soon after they noticed the injuries. Sylvia Vasquez thought her brother Emilio Vasquez was in good hands.
I loved my brother, and I wanted him to get help. That's why he was in here.
He was paralyzed and needed a lot of care at the Cleveland Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. Then she saw the bruises.
I brought him home, and I found sores on his privates.
When Vasquez made complaints, she says nothing was done. It's a similar story for Melinda Harvey.
No, I wasn't ready to bury my mom, but I became ready.
Harvey's mother, Lyndall Petrosia, was also a resident at the center. Then one day, Harvey got a phone call.
I had seen her and she was fine. And then the next day I'm explaining that she's got something wrong with her leg.
Harvey was told Petrosia needed medical attention on her leg. Then finds out her mother had a more serious illness.
There was no reason why they should have been x-raying a leg if she had pneumonia.
Petrosia and Vasquez passed away months later, but allegations of neglect like these are more common than we think. Here's some shocking numbers for you. According to the National Center for Health and Statistics, over 20,000 complaints are made each year regarding nursing home neglect or abuse. Only 20% of those complaints are reported to police. I wanted to speak to local attorney George Hollowell to find out his take on why so many complaints are made in the first place and why so few are reported to authorities.
They are fearful of, if I report this, they're going to treat my loved one worse. They're going to abuse them and hurt them.
George Hollowell specializes in nursing home neglect cases.
Most of the neglect comes from failure to care for the patient that you accepted and said that you were going to care for at your facility.
According to Hollowell, families who see signs of neglect should first talk to the nursing home administrator. If the issue isn't resolved, then go to a resident or patient advocate. And from there, pay a visit to the state attorney general's office. You can get a health expert to then verify the neglect.
Nursing home cases require you to, one, have it reviewed by an expert in the nursing home field. They have to decide that there is a claim of abuse, neglect.
And if the accusations are found true, then you've got yourself a lawsuit. In the meantime, Vasquez and Harvey are searching for closure, hoping their voices will bring more attention and care to the elderly.
We need more help and people to come and help stand up for us.
The problems at Southside Gardens apartments are getting worse, but now add more run-down, empty homes and leaking walls to the long list of complaints.
We still have abandoned apartments that homeless people and everybody coming in, stealing stuff out of it and just making a whole lot of mess and making it worse on us.
Loretta Williams has been a tenant for a couple years there. She has sickle cell disease and a rare heart condition. Williams says the problems in her home affect her health.
I have to sit outside, cold or what, just to keep from breathing in all that mold and everything that's inside my apartment. Toilet not working. You got a screen on to flush it, and the water constantly running.
Now what you're looking at right here is what a lot of tenants say they have to deal with every day. That's water leaking, and in some cases, families say they're getting flooded out of their homes. Here's the problem though. City officials are not only having to pay the water bill, but they could consider cutting it off. But that could mean families will go without water. The landlord still refuses to fix the homes up to code. The city has filed a lawsuit, and today officials voted to expand the number of violations the landlord will have to answer to. Local attorney and judge Jaribu Hill represents the tenants.
What we are seeing now is a shift in the way people are treated, a shift in their understanding about what they're entitled to, and it's a good shift. It's a positive shift.
Although the complaints and problems for the renters are ongoing, Hill says a change is on the way.
Your day is coming where you will have to answer in a court of law for continuously failing to adhere to the laws, the state laws, and the local ordinances.
2 people are in critical condition tonight after New Orleans police say 2 men started shooting at one another, wounding 9 in their crossfire. Tonight we get surveillance footage from our sister station from inside a nearby bar just moments after the first gunshots were fired. An Indianola man sits in jail after a heated argument turns violent, and another man is in police custody for a shooting incident. According to police, Saturday evening, 2 men get into a verbal altercation on Church Street. Montez Burnett steps into the middle of the argument when he's asked to back away. It was at that point when Burnett allegedly took a .45 caliber handgun and struck Roger Plain in the left eye. Burnett is charged with aggravated assault and is awaiting his initial court appearance in the Sunflower County Jail. Plain was treated at South Sunflower County Hospital and later released. Another Indianola man is behind bars after a shooting. Friday evening along Lincoln Street, the victim was standing in the front yard of a residence when John Levy allegedly shot him. The bullet clipped the victim just above the eyebrow. Levy is also charged with aggravated assault. He was transported to the Sunflower County Jail. Last night around 11:45, state troopers along with Washington County deputies, Leland police and emergency officials were dispatched to a 1-vehicle accident accident on U.S. Highway 82 just west of a Delta tractor dealership. A Honda Accord driven by 18-year-old Gary Lee Richardson of Greenville was traveling west on 82. Officers say they saw Richardson committing traffic violations. When they tried to pull him over, he sped off and blew a tire. Richardson lost control of the vehicle and traveled through the median. The car continued across the eastbound lane of traffic where his Honda struck an embankment and overturned several times, ejecting him. Richardson was not wearing his seatbelt. He died at the scene from injuries. New for you at 6, a Leland man is behind bars facing multiple drug charges. 24-year-old Tavarius LaShawn Jackson was arrested yesterday by the Leland Police Department. It happened about 1:15 Sunday afternoon near the intersection of Main Street and Northwest Deer Creek Drive. Police stopped an Oldsmobile Cutlass acting on an arrest warrant issued by the Washington County Sheriff's Department. Inside, officers find Jackson with 63 grams of marijuana, 2 handguns, and cash. Jackson is charged with possession of marijuana with intent to distribute from yesterday's bust and possession of marijuana from the previous arrest warrant. He's being held in the Leland City Jail awaiting his first appearance in court.